Minecraft is usually on a perpetual quest to teach people about how bad democracy is, but this week they've done something different with some 1.20 polls relating to both woods and mobs, and I thought they were incredibly interesting, but they've done this as part of their efforts to promote 1.20. This is an update coming out next Wednesday. I'm sure you've heard about it, but you might not have seen all the fun little promos they've done for this update. I think you might enjoy seeing things like these camels. Oh, and this Cherry Grove treehouse, as well as Cherry Grove scenes to relax and get studying done to. Very weird stuff coming from Minecraft to promote this update, and let's go through some of the most fun stuff as part of Q&A Saturday today. By the way, I have to say, there are over 100 features in the Tales and Trails update. I do like to go through these, and I'll be doing that tomorrow, but if you want to see the super short 20-second version, here's what Minecraft is promoting.
Camels, sniffers, archaeology, bamboo wood, chiseled bookshelves, hanging signs, playable mob sounds, and so much more!
There's been an extra special attention to detail towards the sniffer, which was of course the last mob the community voted to add into Minecraft with this promotional set of kind of pixel art images. As you can see, they're pretty fun, and I think this is actually a really good way of showing players how you get the sniffer. You find it in the ruins, you bring the egg up, you place it down, you wait a little bit for it to hatch, and then a snifflet comes out, and that's really fun by itself. They've also got this picture of a sniffer with an egg on its back, and this picture of an adult with a little baby by its side. It's super cute stuff for Minecraft. I really think it's a good way to get people excited about this, but it seems to be where most of their focus has gone. They've even done a whole Twitter advertising campaign getting people to vote between two of the separate mobs coming in 1.20, the Sniffer Squad or the Camel Crew. This is a huge promotion that Twitter does for all sorts of things to get you hyped about, I don't know, whether it's McDonald's burgers or apparently Minecraft mobs. And so as you can see, if you tweet hashtag Sniffer Squad, that's a vote for the Sniffers, and if you tweet hashtag Camel Crew, that would be a vote for the Camels. And when they did the poll, only 55% of people thought the Sniffer was better. I think this is interesting because we look at the other poll that Minecraft did, just kind of less scientifically, as a Twitter poll. They asked, what are you building with first? And then a little piece of wood emoji. And interestingly enough, 73.5% of players said cherry wood there. So there's a huge preference in 1.20 for cherry wood and for sniffers over bamboo wood and camels, which kind of makes sense to me, but it's also crazy because these were features added much later in the update. I think there is a real trend in Minecraft updates of the best features being the ones that come later, because if you ever look at anything on the Minecraft Instagram pages, I mean, if we go back to the very, the picture of the sniffer from earlier, right? It's a super cute one, but if you read the comments here, the second top one is imagine playing Mine in 2023, and it's like, well, that's a terrible pun. First of all, I don't even understand what you're going for. You have to be literally 10 years old being like, yeah, when I was 8 and lame I played Minecraft, but now I'm 10 and I'm an adult and I can play Fortnite and Apex Legends or whatever it is. But the fact that's a pretty funny comment by itself. But then the third one is my mum hits me. There is precisely no one there's precisely no one here who's genuinely seems to be excited about the sniffer. Whereas when you look at the almost ASMR loop in this Cherry Grove biome, you can see there is much more excitement. This was a very late feature in the development. I remember being on the side of a mountain when it was announced. But if you look at this, you can see the comments are much more like, if y'all drop the update, I would be able to try it. Or, I need this update, bro. Literally been putting off starting a new world so I could build with this. This is something that comes along around the time of basically any update. People saying, yeah, I would really love to play this. I'll wait to start a new world for that, which is always interesting to me because the sort of player who starts a new world every single week, like, you've got a whole bunch of time to play a whole new world before 1.20. But anyway, we've also got stuff like, finally a good update, and then the strong arm. I'm not sure how that's relevant, but speaking of not very relevant, you might notice the audio is a little different today. You don't need to leave a comment, it's fine. I am somewhere different. I will be back very soon to make it up to you. I'll show you a video of geese at the end of the video though. It'll make it all right, don't worry. But yeah, the interesting thing about this video is if you look back at it again, even though this looks like it's just Minecraft, this is actually a heavily stylized version of Minecraft with some fun, slightly different textures, with much better lighting, for example, and also a tree you can't find in regular Minecraft. It feels like all the best Minecraft promo posts, like even these kind of 2D pixel arts, so this one of the chiseled bookshelf, for example, all of these best posts are actually selling people on the version of Minecraft they'd like to see. I think you see something really interesting when Minecraft shows just actual plain features. So for example, the Tales and Trails images, the closest thing they've done to this update, you'll get comments saying stuff like, Mojang hit their quota of 40 minutes of work per month, let's go. And that's because there's this really interesting disconnect between seeing a feature be playable in the game. You expect that means it's just about ready to release. It should be, going out to actually be playable very, very shortly. But some of the features you see in this image, I mean, especially in the bottom right-hand side, right, some of the features in this image have been playable for 9 months, but they've just been held back so that the rest of the update can be playable around it. I think this is a weird thing about Minecraft's development model versus other games. If you did didn't know anything about what they were developing and when, if you just heard that tomorrow there was an update coming out with all this stuff, you'd be like, wow, they must have developed this all very recently, without realizing that actually, the Piglin head was finished in 2022. We're halfway through 2023 now. I can tell by how hot it is, by the way. But we are very, very much in the middle of this year, but some features haven't been touched at all since the last one. And that's an incredibly interesting thing, but I can kind of understand it from comments I get on my own channel. So I got this one from a recent community post where I said I wanted to find silence first, or maybe destroy a Cherry Grove biome, and Nettle Cider's like, what do you mean by finding the silence? And I'm of course referring to the silence trim, a brand new trim found in 1.20, which can be explained with this cutesy little Alex running away from the warden, because that's where the silence trim is found, by the way. Finding this new rarish trim, that one of the rarest items in the entire update, is something that is incredibly fun. However, if when I announce this ahead of time, when I say that's the first thing I want to do in 1.20, some people say, awesome, looking forward to next Wednesday when you're going to do that. But some people would say, wait, why don't you just do it right now? There's nothing about the silence trim and going to get it that is going to change between now and the previews you can play and next Wednesday. Why don't you just do it now? And that's an important thing, is to most people don't get the update until that comes out. And if you have a long-term survival world, it's really important to wait until the main update. And even after this one, by the way, big PSA, back up your world before playing it in 1.20. A lot of bugs are being fixed in 1.20.10. It is unlikely your world will crash and be irreparable, but you might as well not roll the dice if you have a long-term survival world you care about. Speaking of not rolling the dice, Minecraft have a really good thing going on with their promos for this update. I've gone through most of them today, but something that I had to mention at least somewhere in this video from MLGLR, which is, what you should do first, address the new gun mod ban that Mojang is doing. And this isn't a new thing. The Minecraft EULA has said that you can't have weapons in your game for quite some time. However, they've started enforcing this really heavily. So the EULA, which is the End User License Agreement, every Minecraft user agrees to this, whether you like it or not. It's an interesting thing about terms of service in games, right? But this is a thing which says if you're going to have a Minecraft server, you need to not take advantage of lots of certain things. So you can't have pay-to-win servers. You can't have all sorts of different rules are in there. But one of them is you can't have weapons in your server, adult content. You can't have a server called Sexcraft. As much as some weird people on the internet might like that, that would be something which Mojang would be in their rights to take down. However, Mojang are also in their rights to take down guns and firearms servers, which is why it's so interesting that quite a few servers have said that they've received messages in the last few days looking something like this. I'll go through this very briefly because it's quite a big one. It's like, dear Grand Theft Minecraft, we've noticed you have a server for Minecraft called blah 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 blah. Minecraft has a significant loyal fan base, and we'd like to make sure that the community is treated fairly, and so you need to fix these things about your server. No guns and firearms, because you may not have guns and firearm references. Instances must be removed in order to reach compliance. If they don't do it within 7 days, additional actions and measures will be taken, which may include a ban of all IPs related to the server. In other words, don't fix the server. We can't take down your server, but we can ban anyone who was related to the servers, but the people who made it, etc. So just a warning: 7 days, make that whole thing happen. And it's kind of a bummer because Minecraft should be doing the best PR of its life right now. They've got a year's worth of Minecraft development coming together for an update which everyone can play next Wednesday, but instead somewhere in the enforcement team they're like, yeah, you know what we really need to be focusing on? It's these servers with weapons on. Which, to be fair, again, this is Minecraft enforcing its rules, but there's this fun thing about rule enforcement, which is if you only choose to enforce a certain rule, if you have a lot of rules that all need to be enforced, for example, if you see someone littering and you see someone murdering someone else and you're a police officer, just one person, the ideal thing is you'd stop the person littering, give them a fine or whatever it is, and also arrest the person who murdered someone. But if you stop the litterer first, you're showing that litter is a higher priority than murder. If you stop the murderer first, you're showing that murder is a higher priority than litter, which is the worst because, we have too many people, but we also only have so much environment to protect. So really, thank God, that's the thing I would like to see be protected, and hopefully that's what we see in the real world. But that's what we're kind of seeing with Minecraft right now. It's impossible to enforce everything at once, but by going for the gun stuff first, it's just setting a very interesting precedent. Speaking of interesting precedents, by the way, where is Q&A Saturday? Hello, you're watching it right now, by the way, and I'm kind of merging it with a lot of stuff about 1.20 because they have done some weird things as a studio, I think, to promote this update. And, for example, they did Minecraft Soothing Soons, Relaxing Cherry Grove. It's kind of going for that, music to study and listen to. For some, one of my favorite weird ones of these is the British Conservative Party genuinely did one of these videos called, relaxing beats to study and get Brexit done to, back when that was a political issue. Weird stuff, if trying to explain the UK politics to people from afar. Probably shouldn't be done with that one video, but it's clearly worked, because did they get elected? I think they did, and something Brexit. But in the same way, it looks like the Cherry Grove is going to be incredibly successful if this is anything to go by. And so, yeah, I would say that something we're kind of seeing is kind of lackluster promotions overall. I think these are good ideas to say, look, would you like to see what trimming does? Ooh, look, you can put little fun things on it and have purple armor. By the way, this is why Silence Trim is so good. You can have genuinely purple iron armor after this update. It looks pretty good on Alex, doesn't it? But yeah, the problem to me is, like, I think if you want to promote this update, the best way usually is gameplay features, but almost all of the gameplay features have been shown for quite some while already. And that's where I think the interesting question about 1.20 comes in, because, again, the fact that most people see these features and say, yeah, we saw that last year, what is new since then? This is you having done 40 minutes of work since last year, because they can't notice all the different effort. What is the way to actually fix that? Because if the easiest way would be, well, we'll be less transparent as a studio. We won't show you what we're working on until it's ready to release. But I think a lot of people might dislike that, because the whole point of the snapshot process, the whole point of why we've seen these camels with the Alex riding her pickaxe so early, the reason we've seen these things so long ago is so that the community can have their say about whether something was good or bad. Having said that, though, how often does a feature really drastically change because of community input? Have they ever fully removed something because the community just said, yeah, we don't really like that? I think the closest thing you can say to that is the bundle, but even then, the bundle was due to be added. They just couldn't work out how to get it for touch devices. Maybe they're less interested in re-adding it because of that. But I do think that there is a really interesting point here about how do Minecraft as a studio have people be excited and feel like features are fresh versus having them feel like, yeah, these are features we saw forever ago. That is something that is a really interesting struggle to me, and I'd love to know if this is something you notice as someone who watches Minecraft YouTube videos. Do you feel as though these camels, which are super adorable, I mean, they're chilling there, look at their faces, do you feel as though these are actually kind of an old mob that you're just finally able to play with? Or maybe even are you the sort of player who actually just plays with the next major update toggle turned on, and so you are effectively just playing miniature 1.20 updates? I'd love to know your final thoughts on that. I think maybe Minecraft could move to a different update model where, yeah, instead of releasing it behind the toggle of the next major update, effectively saying, these are in the game, they're just not enabled for everyone by default, they could move to releasing 1.21 as 5 minor updates in the year. 1.20.2, 1.20.4, 1.20.6, 1.20.8, and having the update be split out better, maybe people would enjoy that more. I think if the Cherry Grove biome went from announcement to being out in 2 days, I think the hype wave would have lasted the entire time, whereas even in just the last 3 months since it was announced, some people are like, yeah, excited to play that. It's been, I've been ready for a while for it. Why isn't it in my existing world already? And I think the rise of YouTube challenges, which I'll be totally honest, is something I do here on this channel too, also brings people into that, because they'll be watching 1.20, they'll be able to play 1.20. What is the difference when it finally comes out? And to me, the biggest difference is, again, when you have a long-term world that it's important not to be playing betas and stuff, then you can start enjoying it on those. When you start a brand new world, it starts to become the default, but it's kind of more of a, it feels more like an administrative change, moving features from betas, previews, or the next update toggle into the main game. But I would say the administrative change off Tales and Trails is still exciting to me, mostly just because of how much it's going to change every little run. Finding those armor trims and deciding, yeah, actually, why don't I throw that on something, will make things feel a lot more interesting. And also, I don't know, I've been into this single biome thing recently. I think doing that for Cherry Grove biome would be a lot of fun, and so I guess that's something that I might have to play around with. But for now, I hope you will enjoy this video. Tomorrow, like I said, you will be able to see every single feature in this update. If you feel like it's only like 8 major things and you forgot all the minor details, every single individual feature we'll be going through tomorrow. I think it's a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing you in that next one. Have a good day. Goodbye. So this is the animal that everyone says is like so aggressive, and if you let it go near you, it'll kill you. But let me show you something. I go close to him, he runs from me. I'm the mean one in this interaction.